Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Full Court Press. We all apologize for the little gap in uploading. Of course, there was the snowstorm, which knocked us out of a game, and then midterms, which also prevented our filming of a week of rec ball. But we're back. We're ready. We're happy to be serving the rec ball community again. And today we have a special guest. Sean Tam from Team Tam will be joining us in the analysis of this week. Sean, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
So
of
excited.
Course. A pleasure. So let's get it started with the first game of the week. It was Team Seymour versus Team Sullivan. Team Seymour had their biggest win of the year, 72-54, an 18-point lead for Team Seymour. Matt, what wanna?
Yeah, I was expecting Seymour to win this game, but it was a blowout. Honestly, I mean, I was kind of surprised. Jacob went off for 28 points. Team Sullivan just really couldn't stop him. He was kind of dominant.
Yeah, I was happy to see Jacob get back on track. He's had a little bit of a rough past two games, but he definitely jumped right back in, especially at a 9 a.m. game. Like that's very impressive on top of it.
Yeah.
Elliot had his first double-digit game, I think, with 13, and this was the first time that the top 3 picks for our team were in the top 3 scorers, which is an intriguing sight to see as the season wraps.
Nice. I really feel like your team, Team Seymour, is very strong. When we played you, you guys were down a couple players. You weren't able to make it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like it would be a great matchup if we see each other in playoffs. But we're very glad to see Elliot actually stepping up this week.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's scary hours.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Yeah, after the game, Elliot comes up to me. He's like, "Yeah, I had 13, by the way. Someone give me deep boy." You know,
He did have a lot of blocks, too.
And Jacob, please someone give Jacob the MVP award already. He's still averaging 25 points a game. You know, with all due respect, he's still averaging like 25 points a game, even with his last 2 games that were a little down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, but
MVP.
when we played them, you know, we game planned for him, obviously, and obviously other people stepped up too. But he had 6 points when we had him. But not to knock him off, like he responded 28. So I'm just saying he's definitely top of the.
He's top of the chain for sure.
Absolutely.
Just to shed some light on Team Sullivan, Luke had a great game. He had 16. Hayden and Hugh poured in 11 and 10 respectively. And Matthew Berger, I thought that he scored. It was on line perfectly and just grazed the bottom of the net, which I thought it was going to be his deep 3-pointer. Didn't happen.
It's okay.
We still love
Get
you,
him next
Maddie.
time, Maddie.
Yeah. All right, so this was weird. We had 2 9 a.m. games because there's a makeup game. Colin Shu versus Lombardo McGinn. Team Lombardo, who believes they are the best team in the league, with Michael, who believes he's the best player in the league, lost to Colin Shu. Kevin had 16, Surya had 14, Ian had 10. Good all-around game. And for Lombardo, Bossum said he had 20. Ian questioned it in the Facebook chat, and Tommy had 15. Anything to add there?
Yeah, I mean, it was a close game, but Collins got the win. Kevin at 16, like you said, 14. Honestly, it was good balanced scoring here.
Yeah.
Fossum and Tommy combined for 35, so that's really what
Incredible.
does it there.
I just want to add that Team McGinn Lombardo is very well coached. When we played them, it was a very close. Even though it was a very close game, their defensive scheme was when they were guarding me and Ayush. It was pretty much just trapping me and Ayush, and then have another chaser.
Take notes.
I know, if you're playing them next, that's what they're gonna run on you. But it's a very good defensive trap, and they got a lot of steals, a lot of tips off us. Really got us off guard, and really made us adjust and pivot from that.
I didn't watch this game, but I know that Bossum has just been great for this team.
Oh, absolutely.
Bossum's just a force in the paint. You try to stop him, but it's pretty impossible.
At the same time, though,
15 to 20
yeah,
points per
he's a
game.
3-level scorer if you give him
exactly.
a 2K archetype, because he's a sharpshooter. You can't let him shoot wide open threes.
No,
But at the same time, he hits you with the pump fake, he's gone for the layup. So, yeah, you got to worry about both
He does
sides.
go into the paint a lot, too. Ever noticed that?
Definitely an all-star this year.
Offensive
Yeah.
superstar.
Yep.
Moving on to Team Henderson versus Team West. Team Henderson gave Team West their first loss of the week, wouldn't be their last. Brady had 14, Jake Burkhead had 11, and I believe the game winner off of maybe free throws. It was something like that. He hit the last shot, and then Jadius had 10. On the other end, Brendan had 12. He led the team. Colin had 10, and Cooper and Mikey Koo combined for both had 7. Just one thing I want, even though Team West did not come out victorious, they lost by 2. Brendan did an amazing job on Brady this game. He's a defensive specialist, I'd say, and he's just a board hog. So I just want to give some love to Brendan and Team West.
We all love B, and
yeah.
B out there, he's we think he's padding his stats, but he's just not making his layups. But he's grabbing the offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
So like, as Mr. Nagy said in the chat too, like he averaged
46.
probably 46 rebounds.
Yeah.
So you love
Yeah.
to see the intensity on the offensive board.
Yeah,
Paint beast
yeah.
right there.
yeah, definitely.
Another game with balanced scoring too. No one really took over. I mean, I know Brady had 14, which is awesome. Give him credit for that. But honestly, I was a little surprised that Team Henderson won this game. But
Yeah, it was it was definitely back and forth the whole game. They had both teams had runs, and it just I don't know what it is that put Team Henderson on top. In my earlier rankings, I compared Team West to Team Kaplan of my sophomore year.
Oh yeah.
And it's just I think like the logistics of the team is very similar, but we'll see how they play out during the playoffs.
I feel like Team Henderson, first of all, another well-coached team, and they are very cohesive and as a team. And you look
Yeah.
at their scoring; it's very well balanced. And when you look at it, I feel like they play their 2-3 zone on defense very well. Everybody's moving their feet, and it's a very fast recovering defense. So when we watch them, we're like, yeah, they really solidify themselves as like the top teams in the league.
Yeah,
And
they're definitely up there
Yep.
as one of the top teams in the league.
yeah,
the records show it too.
definitely a surprise to see them. But I'm giving credit, just
Yep.
getting up there in the rankings too.
Mhm. Next, Collins had their second game of their doubleheader. Kevin had 16, Surya had 8. And then they faced Team Townsend and took it by 4, with Aiden leading the scoring with 14, Tim Breen with 12. There was a little controversy with this game. Apparently, Kevin and Surya both didn't sit for like 3 quarters, and they were told, like the refs got told that, and Kevin had to sit for like the last 2 minutes, maybe it might have been more. I don't know the exact like numbers for that, but that's interesting to watch. But Kevin put on a show with 16, and Team Townsend has fallen off a little bit. Can't even lie. I
Yeah,
really
they
thought
have.
they would be towards like at least the top 3. Like I thought they'd be a top 3 team,
Yeah.
and they're taking a little bit of a dry spell recently, to say the least.
And they gave him a battle in this game, but like 26 out of the 32 points came from Beanham and Tim. You need to see some more players score the ball in this team. You can't
Yeah.
just have 2 players taking over.
We're gonna play Townsend very soon, and that is a team that we definitely take note of.
Yeah.
But like preseason, like you said,
Yeah.
they're when they drafted the team, I thought, oh my gosh, it's over because they're
They
a
had
huge
so many big
team
yeah,
and
big
all
guys.
athletic, and you have someone like Aim Warner that really plays basketball on
Mm-hmm.
like at Worcester Academy. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So like on the books, there's no weakness in their team, but I feel like teams has really adjusted. And
Yeah.
like Collins Shoe, obviously, they are a very smart team. They have Will always on the bench, like faking you out, like
Yeah.
saying like if he actually plays, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's very interesting.
I mean, one thing to take away from this though is that Colin Shu played 2 games in a row, and Kevin led the score sheet twice in that.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Man,
Good point.
his stamina is off the charts if he's able to score 16 plus.
Colin
2 games in a
Shu
row.
had 3 games this weekend.
Yeah.
They played on
yeah,
Monday
they had
as
a Monday
well,
night, yeah.
and I think I'm pretty
they
sure
won that one?
Kevin led the scoring for that game as
Yeah,
well.
okay.
Or maybe
They won
Eli
3
did
games in a
actually.
row.
They both had 21,
Oh.
20 something.
Yeah.
We'll get
Hey,
to
we'll
that.
get to there. Yeah.
They
yeah.
won that game too?
Yeah, they won.
Okay, they won
They
3
did.
games.
They
in
won that
weekend.
one.
That's
And,
crazy.
Kevin, yeah,
They
Kevin
tied for 21,
yeah,
but
tied
we'll
for that
go
21.
into that a little later. I want to move on to the game of the week.
Oh my
Nagy
gosh.
Steinberg versus Tam. Nagy took it by 2, 51-49. Connor Nagy had 20. Greg Steinberg had 8. Ryan Bentley and Nishi both had 7, including Ryan Bentley's game winner. For Sean's team, Sean had 24 of their 49, and Tito poured in 14. Great to see him have a
Yeah.
good game. Love that. Double digits for Tito.
This was the 3rd close game we saw on Sunday too.
Yeah,
No,
it was a good
crazy.
games this weekend, definitely. Sean, I just want your analysis of the final few moments of that game.
It was definitely a heartbreak, as you know, but for me personally, I feel like it was a very fun game, no matter what happened. For their defense, another well-coached team because their 1-3-1 trap, we were anticipating it all week. We practiced it, had to break it. But, oh my God, the Steinbergs, they're in the passing lanes all the time. Like, even if we get the ball in,
Yeah.
they tip the ball. And the fact that they can stagger playing minutes with the Steinbergs and then with Carew and Nagy on the second line, it's it's very hard to take a lead on them.
Yeah.
So after they took when I got out of the court after the first quarter, they started running a full court trap, which gave them a 10-point lead. So the rest of the game we're really playing
Playing
catch
from
up.
behind, yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty unfortunate for us, but it was a great game. But the final moments, I really want to say, from what I remember, because everything's was like a blur, honestly. I remember us. And they probably down 6, and then I hit Tito with the 3.
Yep.
He green beaned it, you
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And then came back down, and then Kevin, 2K
Fadeaway
Nunes,
3.
fade away, triple contested, nothing but net, you know what I'm saying? Like so, and then they hit a bucket, and then we became down 2. I went down, stepped back, and then I got fouled on 3-point shot.
Almost went in too.
I hope that went in, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But I made 2 free throws. I'm not gonna lie. When I missed the first free throw on the 3-pointer, so after that, like the opposing bench was clearly chirping me.
He-math.
Yeah, that
Big
person.
team.
So after I
Yes.
made the second one to put us down 1, I might have said something to him. But that was pretty bold of me because
Yeah,
we're
it
still
is. You
down
missed the
1.
first,
But like
yeah.
Jordan said, you can't taunt them when you're up because you
Yeah.
gotta taunt
Yeah.
them when you're down. But
Yeah.
it was such a good game. But at the end, obviously heartbreak. Neji came down with a good look. I was guarding him. He didn't get it, but the ball just so happened to come right down to Ryan Bentley, and he took pump fake and
Laid it up.
But
That was the
yeah,
game
that
right
was
there.
that was it.
Yeah, watching this game from the stands with Brady and a lot of other rec ball players, it was definitely one of the most entertaining games of the season by
Appreciate
far.
it.
I mean, their whole team turned into T-Mac in the last minute, coming back from
Yeah.
like a 7-point
Yeah.
deficit,
Yeah.
came back and scored 7 points in like 30 seconds. Sean was getting the crowd riled up and everything. We were all like screaming and yelling like, "Oh my God, this game's gonna go into overtime!" Then Ryan Bentley, the clutch master, with a single just layup,
Nice little tear
ended
drop.
the game right
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, crazy.
All right.
And that's when you say that games aren't won by your studs. They're won by depth, and because Ryan Bentley isn't like maybe isn't one of like the top players, but he's a super good basketball player and flies under the radar because that team is so deep, and that's why like depth in this league is so important, and that's why.
That's what leads to success. Honestly.
Exactly, yeah.
You gotta have that depth.
Mhm.
Every team needs it.
So moving on to another close game, Team Pashota versus Team Meyer. Team Pashota took it by 3, 51-48. JP had 11, JJ had 11, and Jake only had 10, and they still won. On Team Meyer's side, Chucky Moe had a common 20-piece, with Ryan following up with 6, J-Bon, Cam, and Shree all poured in 5. Something I noticed from this game was when Charlie gets hot, he can't be guarded. Being face guarded at the top by Owen Fiedler, Charlie just takes a classic Harden step back and splashes it like it's nothing. It's just crazy to watch him work inside as well. He has his little Euro step that somehow always works no matter what.
Just like Boston, he's a 3-level scorer.
Yeah.
You can't stop him.
Yeah.
He's KD.
Yeah.
He's
That's the
KD,
best
exactly.
comparison.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
lengthy.
for sure.
Let's not also discount his defensive absolute
He also
dominance.
probably the
Blocks per game.
depoy as well.
Oh my gosh.
He probably averages 7 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This was JJ's first game back from injury, right?
I don't think it was his
I
first
think he was
game back.
wall-balling.
He's been playing a little bit, but he was definitely giving it his all. He did he always
Yeah.
hurts himself during the game, but
Yeah.
he was giving
He
it
had
his
11
all.
points. Give him credit for that.
Mhm. Him and Jack on the pick and roll was pretty good too.
Shout out JP.
Yeah.
JP really shut out.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
had a 3. Celebrated that one.
He
I love
beat
that.
that. Okay.
Love the celly.
Yep.
Jake had I think 8 of his 10 in the final 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think he scored.
Yeah.
If he scored more this game, I don't think it would have been as close, honestly.
Yeah.
But Charlie locked him up.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
You gotta give
You're
credit
right.
to where
Yeah.
credit is
Yeah,
due.
you
It's,
agree.
yep, Team Meyer.
Charlie
really,
after
yep.
the game said he was winded guarding Jake, like that. He had never felt so out of shape. And
Wait till this week when they play us.
yeah, I know. Charlie's gonna have a tough one with you guys, but for Team Meyer, if one person hits it one more 3, their second leading scorer had 6 points.
Yeah.
So that's again depth. You need your other players to just help you a little bit more. And unfortunately for Team Meyer, that just didn't happen. J-Bon had not his best game. Usually he's good for at least 10. Mm-hmm. So that's the difference right there. Mm-hmm. So move on to Team Barry versus Team Last. Hearing about this game was really weird. So Team Barry took it from Team Last. Not surprising, but so Desmond had 22, which is great. He's been hooping up really nicely this year. Michael, Big Mike had 16. Colin Barr had 14 for Team West. Brendan Martin had a classic 28 piece, and Luke Hadley had 7. But I heard that Desmond got hurt, elbowed in the ribs or something, and then somebody was taunting him as he was writhing on the floor in pain.
Oh.
And there was a little talk between those two. I'm not going to name who the other guy was, but
They got double teched.
yeah, they did get double
Double
tagged.
tagged?
Yeah,
Oh,
there was,
wow.
and then after the game, it continued a little bit as well. But
I mean,
Were you
that's what
ready?
you
Were
get
you
from
at the game?
Desmond.
You-
That's what you get from Desmond.
Yeah.
He brings
Were you-
he brings the feistiness, the gritty, the nitty gritty. You know, so yeah, I'm sorry.
No, just double T. Never want to see that. But
No.
He's out for this game too. That means.
yeah.
is he?
Yeah, double tech means you're out for the next game too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember in freshman year, Sam Schiffman like kicked a chair after he fell
Oh,
out.
yeah, I did.
Got
Yeah,
a double
yeah,
tech
yeah,
out for the
yeah.
next game.
This is why we love rec ball.
This
It's
is why we love it.
it's because
Most
everybody
competitive
cares.
atmosphere I've ever
We
seen.
make it
Competitive.
fun.
Yeah.
We make it fun.
A team like Team Last, who hasn't won a game this season, has a guy getting a double tech because he cares so much.
Mhm.
That's all you need to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving down to the Monday night games, I really personally love these Monday night games. Very, very enjoyable. Colin Shu, well, actually the first game was Nagy versus Team West. Nagy pulled it out, won by 7. Just not really like a clean game, like overall, but from both teams. Connor Nagy had 14, Adam had 14, Greg and Alex both had 6. And once again, Brendan led in scoring with 11, Mikey had 8, Colin had 7. Team Nagy did a really good job on Colin, trying to contain him throughout the game. I could tell that was like their main like game plan, and it worked. It definitely did work. And Team Nagy, I think, has like, I don't want to spoil anything, but a new number 1 may be in store for this week.
Yeah, they've
deserved.
established that. I think they're starting to establish that.
Yeah, I think so
Definitely.
too.
But also at the same time, even though Colin didn't score a lot this game, what I saw last night was him really solidifying himself as a really great playmaker,
That's true.
feeding Brendan down low and bringing the ball up. Him and Mikey is kind of like taking
Yeah,
that
and
point
he's a
guard
good
spot.
leader as well, picking his teammates
He's
up.
a
when
very
he's down,
Colin's
so.
a very smart player. He's a
Yeah.
very high IQ player that really knows the game of basketball. So, yeah, awesome.
I think we missed a game. We missed the Calderon McGinn game.
Oh,
we
on
did
me,
miss
on
that
me.
game. Yeah.
Please, Team Calderon member, tell me what happened that game.
So this game was crazy. Of course, Team McGinn Lombardo is a very well coached team. They were trapping us. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. They were trapping us at half court, full court pressing, all that kind of stuff. It was a close game at the half. We were only down by 3 or 4.
It was a
I
close
think.
game till the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys
And
really
then
had him.
I had scored 8 points in the first quarter, but I also had 4 fouls. I couldn't be benched because I had to guard Bossum, and I ended up fouling out at the start of the third quarter. Really tough calls this game, but like after that, our team just went downhill. To be honest, like they kept on trapping Matt Mendez and full court pressing him. It was a tough sight to see.
Even with
to
that,
say
though,
the
Matt
least.
Mendez really had a good game though.
Yeah.
He's just filthy in this league. Like,
How many did
he's-
you
Yeah.
have? 25?
25,
24,
and Bossum with a
yeah.
common 27. Mitab with a 13.
Matab, 13. I
Can't
see you,
believe it.
MSS.
They gave up on me.
They gave up
yeah,
on us.
come on, big
Those
dogs.
shoes are going down in the
Tings.
Hall of Fame. He writes down 8th round pick on his shoes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he wrote on my shoes. Whatever, but
You're running. Those are yours?
those are my shoes.
Oh.
I just want to shout out Matt because he's been hooping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
man. He has to carry our team.
If Team Calderon has a few more wins, he's MVP.
the
Yeah.
They don't.
the
Yeah.
difficulty in a shot
Unfortunately.
because the defense just collapses on him and he still is able to finish with tough finishes. Oh my gosh, I'm very impressed.
I also want to give a little shout out to Logan. Like, I didn't even know much about this guy before, but he's actually proved like a really solid scorer. He had like a few threes that I watched like in a row. So that's good for him.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him, but like to be honest, all those threes were at like in the end at garbage time. He had like 3 threes.
No
at the
such
end,
thing as garbage time in
But
rec
like
ball.
yeah,
Points are
that's-
points.
It was great.
Mhm.
It was
Also,
great to
shout
see
out
him just splash those
Shout out
random
to our
shots.
Ben Grossman too. He had a really nice off the glass 3.
Oh,
Attaboy.
you
Attaboy,
banked
man.
it
He banked it
on a Sunday? Not intentionally.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think he was.
Says
I don't
Ben
know
from the
what he was doing.
crowd. Live studio audience right here. So we moving back down to Monday. We already went over the Nagy game. Team West second loss of the week, and here's another team who had 2 losses. Sullivan Burke. They had it really close with Collins. I actually thought they might have won this game. They had 55. Collins though had 62. So Collins ended up winning by 7. Eli made his return this week. He had 21. I said wrong. Like I was fed wrong information that he was out for the season. So I'm sorry that I spread that false news. He clearly is not. He had 21, 3 after 3, swishes, banks, doesn't matter. He was hitting everything. Kevin had 21, defensive menace. He had a good amount of blocks at the end of the game as well. Ian had 8. And then on Sullivan Burke, Luke had 21. That's honestly such a good sign to see for Team Burke if Luke can put up 21. And then you have Hayden who had 14, that's not even near his best games. Mm-hmm. So if Luke can continue to score, Hayden can continue to score, and Hugh also only had 6, and that's not normal for him either. So that's a good sign for them, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, with Eli back for Team Collins, I mean, they're really still a top team in this league for sure. I mean, he really is essential to that team. Kevin at 21, like you said, they're just a really good team all around. Good to see. They had 3 games this week, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Collins? Yeah, they
so
won all 3.
So that's 3-game sweep. That's good to see.
3 games in 1 weekend. That might just be a rec ball record, to be honest.
Yeah.
3
seriously.
wins.
At some point during that game, Collins versus Sullivan, it was a 3-point battle. Like, it was back and forth. Luke hits one, and then Kevin answers. Eli hits one, and then Luke hits another one. But it was it's very entertaining to watch on a Monday night. Also, just shout out to Hayden. He was really getting into the lane, splitting double teams, splitting pick and
Yeah, he had a
rolls.
lot of good finishes last night.
Mm-hmm.
I want to also... So that about wraps up this week's portion of the game recaps. I didn't tell anybody about this. I want to give you guys my top 5 MVPs, my top 5 in this ranking, in this order. I have never given the order yet. So, hear it here first. Last week of rec ball season. We'll see what happens. We'll see what changes.
Hey.
I have Jacob Linsky as the number 1. Jake Ritako as number 2. Connor Nagy as number 3.
Ooh, sick.
Okay.
And then for 4 and 5, I have tied between Sean Tam and Charlie Snow.
I think Sean's at 4.
I want to hear people's reactions to this list.
That's a good
I
list.
just want to bring that up. Tell me who I'm missing.
Connor Nagy's been great, but I personally put our own Sean Tan here today at number 3.
To be honest,
Just especially at 24 points this week, and gotta respect it. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sean's the only scorer on his team that consistently puts up 20 plus. You know, there's multiple people on Nagy Steinberg. Not to take anything away from Connor Nagy, he's a really good player, but there's multiple people on Nagy Steinberg that can put up 20 plus points.
You can definitely keep Connor Nagy in the conversation
Yeah, I
too.
think so, too.
I would put at this point in the season, I put Sean over.
And that's definitely
Connor.
fair. Again, this is a draft of a list, but it's going to be solidified after this week's game. Since can't believe it, the season's coming to a close already.
I know, right?
Very excited for playoffs.
Can I say a couple words
Yeah,
about
of
the
course.
MVP thing?
Yeah.
Obviously, I probably have a different MVP
Yeah.
list, but I just want to say everybody on that list very deserving to be on there. But I feel like it's more than points. That determines about your MVP if you deserve it or not. I feel like your team record, definitely matters. I also feel like if you facilitate your teammates and do you really make your team better. But either way, I just want to say our team's having such a great time. So no matter what happens, it's
How cute.
It's what rec's all about.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
And with that, I'd like to just end it on what these two just said. Rec is all about having fun.
Facts.
And that just about wraps up this week.
Can I give a quick shout out?
Yeah, of course.
I want to shout out this crew,
thank you.
all the Lavio people, at the journalism class, all the parents that comes out, all the people that work the game, all the audience that hypes up the crowd.
Don't forget about Mrs. Henderson with Westboro TV.
Yes,
Also,
Westboro TV,
yes,
obviously.
Mrs. Stoker for getting us to be able to be
Mrs.
down
Stoker.
here.
Yeah, it's so fun to see, because this is my first year playing rec ball, and just how fun and how everybody's so engaged, really made me care about a lot more, making a lot more passionate every game, looking forward to the games, so and watching all the games too. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for those
We
words.
appreciate you coming on today.
Yep,
too.
thank you
Thanks for your
again,
takes.
Sean, for joining us. I'm Brady Volan. On behalf of Full Court Press, we're signing out.
Oh my god, I hit that too.
Yeah. Nice. That was a good episode.